Herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Folge Grusel mit mir. Ich bin MadCChris und ich freue mich sehr, dass ihr wieder einschaltet. Hier. Grusel mit mir. Ja, heute habe ich Chilling Scares für uns, ne, so als kleinen Bonus heute Abend. Und es geht um Google Earth, Google Maps, Google Street View, ja, und verstörende Bilder. Ich wünsche uns viel Spaß. Ja, Chilling Scares, die 6 meist verstörendsten Locations gefunden auf Google Maps. Ja, ich bin gespannt. Mal was anderes.
New Baltimore is a small town in New York with a population of just over 3,000 people. In 2007, the first images of the town were uploaded to Google Maps. But unlike most locations on the platform, for some reason the Street View images seem to be corrupted, making the entire town look warped and discolored, resembling something completely different from the actual town in real life.
Das sieht so ein bisschen nach Silent Hill aus, ne?
If you zoom out
Oder so ein Bild aus so einer Parallelwelt, so eine Geisterwelt.
far enough, the glitch disappears, and the roads, people, and houses start to look normal again. The location had the same appearance on Google Maps for 8 years, until in 2015, Google finally managed to fix the issue by uploading new pictures of New Baltimore to the platform. To this day, it's unknown what caused the glitch, and Google never gave an explanation as to why it happened.
Ja, es war halt ein Glitch, ne? Ein Fehler. So würde ich es mal auch dann auf Deutsch eher sagen. Es hat 8 Jahre gedauert, bis Google das ausgebessert hat. Ja, das ist jetzt nichts Ungewöhnliches. Also bei Google Maps sind oft Bilder, die sind Google Earth, ne? Das basiert ja auch auf Google Earth von oben und so weiter. Google Street View, ja, die fahren halt nicht jeden Tag da lang. Das dauert halt auch teilweise Jahre, und vor allen Dingen in so einem kleinen Ort da. Das ist ja jetzt nicht New York oder irgendwie so, ne?
Of course, small glitches and equipment errors happen all the time, but what's unusual is that this is the only location on the platform where the entire town looked like this.
Ja.
But what's most disturbing is that even after Google supposedly fixed the glitch around 2015, after 8 years of its existence, some people still reported that there were certain spots in New Baltimore where the street view would temporarily glitch and show a distorted, creepy version of the people and houses.
Ja, jetzt könnte man natürlich sagen, ne, vielleicht hat die Kamera dort tatsächlich auch Einblick gehabt in eine Parallelwelt. Wir sind hier ein paranormaler Kanal, oder ich habe hier einen Kanal, der den Paranormalen jetzt nicht gerade abgeneigt ist. Ja, also ich bin zwar immer skeptisch und kritisch, aber ich bin auch dem offen. Warum nicht? Also, wenn es kein Glitch ist, vielleicht ist es ein Blick in eine andere Welt.
Because Google never disclosed any information about the glitch publicly, people have tried to come up with explanations for years. Many users have claimed that it wasn't a glitch at all, and that New Baltimore is really some kind of portal, while others say the entire town is haunted. To this day, some people still claim that the glitch was never entirely fixed. In 2019, a man named Jerry Nyman was simulating a school bus route in Florida using Google Maps. At the time, Jerry worked for the transportation department of the Palm Beach County School District, and his job involved making sure the bus routes were safe enough so children could easily get on and off the bus without having to walk close to any busy highways. One day, Jerry got an email from a nearby middle school asking him to make sure the current bus routes were safe, and this is where things took a turn. After reading the email, Jerry realized that the school was close to his ex-girlfriend Erica's house. As he was checking the bus route on Google Maps, he noticed something that looked like a white car at the edge of a man-made lake next to Erica's house. He quickly texted her and asked her if she had ever seen the car. She said no, but offered to go over and take a look. Because the water was brown and murky, she had to ask a neighbor for help.
Oh, wow. Okay, fassen wir bis dahin nochmal zusammen. Ein Schulbusfahrer hat halt den Auftrag bekommen, eine Route für den Schulbus zu erstellen, damit die Schüler halt sicher zur Schule kommen. Also damit die nicht über irgendwelche Hauptstraßen gehen müssen und so weiter. Hat halt Google Maps dafür genutzt. Und in der Nähe von dem Haus seiner Freundin oder der Wohnung seiner Freundin hat er halt ein weißes Auto in diesem See entdeckt von oben.
After which, her neighbor confirmed that there was indeed a white car in the retention pond and called 911. Police showed up and interrogated Jerry, thinking that he might have had something to do with it. But he explained that he had just found the car on Google Maps.
Yeah.
Shockingly, after pulling the car out of the pond and looking inside, the police found a man's skeleton still wearing a seatbelt in the driver's seat. As it was later revealed, the car belonged to a man named William Mould, a 40-year-old mortgage broker who had disappeared way back in 1997.
Oh.
The story goes that on November 7th, William was at a nightclub, and at about 9:30 p.m. he called his girlfriend to let her know that he would be heading home soon. According to witnesses, William hadn't really socialized with anyone, and although he'd had several drinks, he didn't appear to be intoxicated when he left the club at around 11 p.m. in his white sedan. That night was the last night anyone would see him alive.
Oh, dann ist er da betrunken in diesen Teich gefahren und ertrunken. Und man hat ihn, also 20 Jahre mindestens jetzt oder so, ne, war er dann da. Gott.
After his girlfriend reported him missing, police began an investigation, but with no new leads, the case quickly went cold. Considering how dark the water was in the retention pond, it's not surprising that nobody had noticed the car for 22 years until it was found on Google Maps.
22 Jahre war dieser Wagen mit dem toten Mann da in diesem Teich. Das ist ja sowas von grausam.
The circumstances around William Mould's disappearance and how his car ended up in the lake remain unknown.
Ja gut, man weiß jetzt nicht, wie er da reingeraten ist, aber er war halt noch angeschnallt und alles sah eigentlich eher so aus wie eine normale Fahrt. Ist vielleicht einfach aus Versehen da reingefahren, weil er so betrunken war. Vielleicht hat er auch einen Herzinfarkt gehabt, ist von der Straße abgekommen und da reingefahren. Schlaganfall, keine Ahnung. Grausam.
This disturbing scene was captured in a public park in a small city in Holland. In 2013, a Reddit user named NCav posted this image with the caption, "A murder near my house" on Google Maps. The satellite image shows what appears to be a trail of blood on a dock.
Oh yeah.
The quality isn't great, and it's hard to tell what exactly is happening, but many people have claimed that the image shows two men dragging a dead body into the water.
Ja, aber das ist, glaube ich, ein Hund oder sowas.
After the post quickly went viral, police launched an investigation to find out whether a murder had actually taken place at the dock. Investigators and reporters thought they might get valuable information by interviewing nearby business owners, but nobody had seen anything suspicious. If it was a murder, getting rid of a dead body in the middle of a popular public park in broad daylight is questionable, but as you'll soon see, stranger and more disturbing things have been captured on Google's satellite images.
Ich glaube, der Hund hatte einen Unfall. Das glaube ich. Und ist hier irgendwie... Weil das sieht doch verdächtig nach einem Hund aus, der da liegt.
A week after the image was posted, a 52-year-old woman named Jacqueline Kunen claimed that the image shows her and her friend playing with her brown golden retriever, and that the trail of liquid was actually water from the dripping dog, which looks dark red in the picture because of the lighting. While this is a possibility, crime scene investigators aren't fully convinced. Forensic analysts say that the stains look exactly like blood looks in the satellite image, and that the stain patterns on the dock show a clear dragging pattern, as if something heavy had been dragged on the dock, not a dripping pattern. Years after the original image was captured, a forensic team analyzed the scene with special equipment. They found no traces of blood on the dock, but they said it's possible the blood could have fully faded after so much time.
Ja.
Whether the satellite captured an innocent image of two women playing with a dog or something much more gruesome remains unconfirmed.
Ja, ich meine, es ist ja auch möglich, dass das wirklich zwei Frauen sind, die da mit dem Hund spielen, so wie das heute die Frau da geschrieben hat. Und dass das Blut halt von irgendwas anderem war. Vielleicht haben die da Fische gefangen und die da ausgenommen oder was auch immer. Keine Ahnung, ja, dass die Forensiker da nichts mehr gefunden haben. Gut, nach so langer Zeit haben die ja selber gesagt, da können die letzten Spuren halt auch weg gewesen sein, ne? Aber es ist auch schon... Boah, Google Maps.
Confirmed. Strangely, if you look at the dock on Google Maps today, there's a bright red circle with two lines in the center of the dock, and I couldn't find an explanation on what this means. In a random location in Sonora, Mexico, a Google Street View car photographed four masked men standing in the middle of the road. On one side of the road, a man wearing a scream mask can be seen next to another man wearing a Mexican wrestling mask over his face. A third person with a werewolf mask stands in the middle of the road alongside another man wearing a balaclava.
Ja, die wussten also, dass der Google Street Wagen da lang fährt. Das kann man auch ganz leicht rausfinden. Die kündigen sich auch an und haben das halt genutzt.
And a hat. After the discovery was posted on Reddit about a year ago, people started coming up with theories to explain the strange scene. One possibility is that the people in the image were following the Mexican Day of the Dead tradition of dressing up in masks and costumes to dance and celebrate
Nein, die wussten einfach, dass der Google Street Wagen da lang fährt.
Their ancestors. On this holiday, it's common in some communities for people to dress up and dance on the street for money, inviting passers-by to dance with them. The legend goes that if you join in and dance with them once, you have to do it for 7 years straight to avoid getting chased by ghosts. The Day of the Dead theory sounds possible, however, the picture was taken in April, and the Day of the Dead isn't until November, which means that the people in the image were covering their face for another reason. Many people have speculated online that since the photograph was taken in an area made famous by the Sonora Cartel, the men could be cartel
Die machen sich da zu viele Gedanken. Die wussten halt, dass der Google Street Wagen da lang fährt und wollten halt sowas auch provozieren. Ne?
members. The reasons for standing on the road are unclear, but some people think that something sinister might have been taking place when the images were captured. The Sonora Cartel is one of the oldest and most notorious drug cartels in Mexico. They made their name as one of the first cartels to ship many different drugs.
Ja, aber die laufen ja jetzt nicht den ganzen Tag mit diesen Masken da rum. Also die haben die da schon gezielt aufgesetzt, weil der Google Street Wagen da kam und haben sich auch schon so da postiert.
Into the US. But whether the people in the image are actually cartel members has not been confirmed. Interestingly, this isn't the first sighting of people wearing strange masks on Google Maps. In 2013, a group of people was photographed wearing pigeon masks near a railway station in western Tokyo.
Das ist mit Absicht.
Although the image is a little creepy, it was later revealed that the whole thing was actually just a staged prank led by a group of art students from a nearby university.
Ja.
But it's unlikely that this is what was happening in the images that were taken in Mexico. In March of 2014, a Malaysia Airlines plane with 227 passengers and 12 crew members on board disappeared during a flight from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. The mysterious disappearance of Flight 370
Berühmt.
triggered a massive international search operation.
Ja.
But 3 years later, in January 2017, the governments of Malaysia, Australia
Und das ist eine Riesensache, ne? Ich glaube, bei Netflix gibt es darüber eine Doku. Wie viel da unter den Tisch gekehrt worden ist, wie viele Beweise es für verschiedenste Theorien gibt, die überhaupt gar nicht weiterverfolgt wurden. Es ist echt Wahnsinn.
and China called off the search. To this day, the reasons for the plane's disappearance are unknown, but because it's known that a plane has to be under manual control to deviate as much from its course as Flight 370 did, most experts speculate that a sort of hijacking operation is the most likely.
Ja, also da gibt es halt Spekulationen über Navigationsfehler, die aber eigentlich ausgeschlossen werden konnten, fast schon. Dann über Flugzeugentführungen und so weiter. Also richtig, richtig spannend. Ja, richtig spannend. Ich habe nicht mehr alles so im Kopf von dieser Doku, aber das war richtig, richtig spannend. Und die Angehörigen von denen, die da vermisst werden oder halt dann umgekommen sind, ja wahrscheinlich dann ja auch. Das ist echt tragisch, ne? Dass die eigentlich nie wissen werden genau, was passiert ist. Weil die Behörden kaum etwas außer ihre Version zulassen. Ne?
Explanation. 1 year after the search was called off, a man named Ian Wilson claimed that he had found the crash site on Google Maps in a random location in the middle of the Cambodian.
Und nicht nur das, es gab da auch sogar einen Typen, der hat an einem Strand, ich weiß es wirklich nicht mehr, aber irgendwo auch im asiatischen Raum an einem Strand ständig Wrackteile entdeckt von diesem Flugzeug. Und eigentlich an einer Stelle, wo die nicht hätten gefunden werden dürfen. Weil laut offiziellen Angaben ist das Flugzeug hunderte, tausende Meilen weiter davon entfernt abgestürzt. Und so viele Teile können den Weg zu diesem Strand gar nicht gefunden haben. Ja.
Jungle. Determined to find the remains of Flight 370, Ian and his brother Jackie traveled to Cambodia to search for the plane. Unfortunately, because the terrain in the jungle was incredibly dangerous, they had to turn back before they could reach the crash site. But the brothers plan to return to the Cambodian jungle sometime in the future to find it. Although it's disturbing to see a...
Und das Witzige daran ist, das ist nicht witzig, das ist eher jetzt sarkastisch gemeint, das Flugzeug soll über Meer abgestürzt sein. So, wenn er das jetzt im Dschungel gefunden hat, dann wirft das auch die Theorie, oder besser gesagt die Version, die die Offiziellen angeben, vollkommen über den Haufen.
A plane stranded in the middle of the jungle, authorities have clarified that it's unlikely that this is the lost Malaysia Airlines plane. Random debris was found from Flight 370 on the shores of different countries on the African coast 2 years before the Google Maps sighting. And it would
ja, richtig. Also an verschiedensten Küsten wurden Wrackteile entdeckt. Ob die alle von diesem Flugzeug stammen, ist natürlich, sei mal dahingestellt. Wie gesagt, es gibt halt viele Theorien.
have been almost impossible for this debris to have made its way from the Cambodian jungle to the beach, across the Indian Ocean, and onto the shores of Madagascar and Tanzania.
Ja.
But there's also evidence that suggests this could be the crash site of Flight 370. For example, at the time the plane lost contact with the operations center, it was reportedly in Cambodian airspace. Also, the missing Malaysia Airlines plane was a Boeing 777, which measures about 242 feet, and using the measuring tool on Google Maps, the length of the plane in the satellite image is almost a perfect match.
Oh, yeah.
Some Cambodian residents also revealed during interviews that they had seen a plane with a kite-like emblem flying overhead in that same area around the date of the crash. The contradicting evidence triggered a conspiracy theory, with people...
Also so weit waren die bei Netflix nicht bei der Reportage, ja. Das sind halt auch Verschwörungstheorien, ne? Ja, weil da halt so viele Offizielle dann auch ihre Finger drin haben müssen. Eine andere Theorie war auch irgendwie, dass das Flugzeug nach Russland entführt worden ist. Ja.
Claiming that the debris had been planted on the shores of African countries by the Malaysian government to close the case quickly and avoid having to admit that they completely botched the initial search for the plane. Because it's still unknown where Flight 370 crashed, this could be a possibility. But even if this isn't where Flight 370 went down, the fact that there's a random, undocumented plane stranded in the middle of the Cambodian jungle is pretty unsettling.
Erstmal das und zweitens frage ich mich auch, wie der Typ das entdeckt hat. Der muss ja da rangezoomt haben und dann auch den ganzen Dschungel irgendwie mal abgesucht haben auf nichts. Also einfach nur so aus Spaß, um zu sehen, was da ist. Und es ist natürlich schon ungewöhnlich, wenn da eine Boeing 747 einfach so im Dschungel steht, ne? Ja. Nur, ich frage mich, wenn dieses Flugzeug abstürzt, ob das nicht mehr Schaden hier verursacht hätte. Klar, der Wald kann nachwachsen, es ist Dschungel. Schwierig.
The story behind this Google Maps image is particularly disturbing. On the night of August 14th, 2009, Kevin Barrera's life was tragically taken on a footpath crossing the railroad tracks that separate North Richmond from San Pablo, California. His remains were discovered the next morning by a passerby, and police soon showed up at the scene of the crime. Investigators never found a motive for the event, and the crime was sadly never solved. 4 years later, in 2013, the boy's father was using Google's satellite view when he noticed something pretty disturbing. For some unknown reason, the satellite image of the area just so happened to be captured on the exact day after the incident. The aerial view shows a police car and a group of 5 investigators standing next to the tracks. Disturbingly, also seen is Kevin Barrera. After Kevin Barrera's father reported the image, Google Maps took it down 8 days later, but the damage to the family had already been done. This area of Richmond, known as the Iron Triangle, is reportedly a big homicide hotspot. Between February and October of 2013, 6 people were killed near the railroad tracks.
Ja, und ein dieser Morde oder wie der dann gefunden worden ist, ist tatsächlich bei Google Maps mit drin, ne? Oh.
Although these kinds of events are still being reported in that area to this day, this is the only time one of them was captured by Google's satellite images and shown publicly on the platform.
Ja, das fand ich sehr interessant, ne? Also vor allem das mit dem Flugzeugabsturz. Wie gesagt, ich kann euch das nur bei Netflix empfehlen, diese Doku. Echt interessant. So verschwörungstechnisch bin ich ja sowieso immer sehr interessiert. Solange es nicht ganz so wir wird. Ja, ich danke euch fürs Zusehen und in der Beschreibung findet ihr wie immer alle Links für die Videos, für den Kanal. Ne? Schillingscares, lasst Abo da und so weiter. Ja, ich danke euch fürs Zusehen. Ne, ihr hinterlasst mir auch ein Abo bitte. Einen netten Kommentar, Daumen nach oben, Glocke auch aktivieren und wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal wieder. Haltet die Ohren steif, ich empfehle mich. Adios.